everyone, and welcome back to the #1 community college podcast in the state of North Carolina, Sea Devil Sessions.
Woohoo! And it's probably because we're the only community college podcast in the state. But
no,
hey.
Kathie, no, we are the #1. I'm feeling it.
Yes.
Are you on board with this?
Absolutely.
I am your host, Lucinda McNamara, Dean of University Transfer and Partnerships, and here's the velvet voice, Kathie Lee.
Hello.
Did we figure out what the other titles were?
Oh, I thought about it, but then I couldn't remember. I feel like there was maybe like a sultry.
I think there was sultry.
Chanteuse or something. I don't know.
Again, listener, please go back to season 1. Let us know what we said. Wow, it is still cold out. I can't believe I'm saying this. Granted, when this podcast drops, it will be in March. So I hope we have made it.
Right. Hopefully it'll be in the 60s and 70s.
Because I can't take it much longer, folks.
No.
And I've been telling people that I've been having really dark thoughts about groundhogs. That little bastard, 6 weeks.
Right? Yeah, no.
So what do we have today, Kathie?
Today's faculty spotlight is Paul Markert, who is the program director for our new simulation and game development program. He started here last semester. He's now, kind of wrapping up his first year here at Cape Fear Community College.
Yes, he's very excited to get his program up and off the ground. So let's take it to the studio with Paul. Paul Markert's in the house.
Hello, everybody.
Hi. Thanks for coming up.
No problem.
The Penthouse Studios here in Union Station.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's 3 o'clock in the morning.
You remember.
I know. It is 3 a.m.
It's 3 a.m. in the morning.
We
It's
do
3
a lot.
a.m. somewhere.
We work really hard here at Cape Fear. So, Paul, thank you. We are going to get right down to brass tactics.
All right.
What do you got for us?
So, Paul, tell us, what brought you to the Wilmington area?
Really, CFCC brought me to the Wilmington area.
The power of
Yes.
CFCC.
Yes, the power of it. I was contract working game design, looking for something permanent, and saw that there was this opportunity to teach. And I had really positive experiences teaching in graduate school. So it's just like, I'd love to do this. And one thing led to another. And I got an Airbnb and all of my stuff in a car and started my first day after that.
Awesome.
And so what do you think of the Wilmington area?
So far, I love it. It's been really funny in the conversations that I have with people, and almost everyone I meet is kind of the same in that they were from another place that was probably colder and probably a little bit more difficult to live.
Right.
And now they're here in a more relaxed environment, and everybody just has that sort of like relaxed vibe.
Right.
It's been really nice and really comfy. I think it's the best way to describe it so far.
It will be after this week.
Yes.
Yeah.
The winter weather, and because nobody brought their winter coats with them.
You're a Wilmington convert. I appreciate it. So what drew you to major in and teach simulation and game development?
So I actually started my whole adult career life in theater, doing theater directing and company management. I ran a small theater company in New York, and that went into movie props. And then COVID happened, and that's when you kind of make that hard choice of like, I don't want to be in New York City anymore. And I made a list of things that in that time of like retrospective that I always wanted to learn, but felt like I wasn't smart enough to learn. That like I wanted, if I was going to do something else, I wanted to do something that was challenging and, see how far I could go with it. And that was a lot of like game design, animation. And sure enough, there was a graduate program at the University of Georgia. Georgia's originally where I'm from. Go Dogs. But University of Georgia, through a program called Dramatic Media, had a list of everything that I wanted to learn. And so I took a risk, like literally emailed them, was like, are you still taking applications? And they said yes. And I did an application.
Sweet.
And then called them up the next day and said, I need to move my entire life during a pandemic. So can you like let me know like now?
Right.
If I could get it. And sure enough, they, to their credit, moved heaven and earth to see if I could get in. And I got in and was able to do it. And went from starting to learn the Unreal Engine, which is what we're teaching in the class, to by the end of my graduate school, teaching students who I could see had the same thoughts that I did, that I'm not smart enough to know this, or I'm not doing that. And being able to like help students through that and show them that there are other possibilities than they think there are, and that they can make the things that they love.
What about game development or design do you think is the hurdle that students are afraid of, that they think that they're not smart enough to do?
I think it's definitely the math and the coding. A lot of people, I still am, and I'm several years into this now, but I still have moments with coding where I'm just like, I'm not sure if I'm there. But what you start to realize is you work through it, and both with the Unreal Engine, that there are avenues beyond coding where you can still be a valued part of making games, whether that's in like level design or even through something called like Blueprint Visual Scripting, which is like a visual scripter as opposed to coding. That's actually what I teach my design kids. That, and then our separate programming classes cover the coding courses.
So it's like a nice soft opening.
Yeah, it's a soft opening to that. And once you go through that, then if you go through these steps, then it doesn't seem that hard. And you're like, understanding it too is just like, you know, learning it as a language as opposed to like trying to memorize it as things like that is helpful. And getting students over those humps and really hearkening it back to like thinking more about beyond just the things you could do, what makes this fun, what makes this enjoyable, and finding that design element also makes the other applications easier to do as well.
Cool. So what have you noticed about the difference in the students since you began teaching?
I have noticed that every semester, not just here, but when I was teaching at UGA, every semester they get hungrier and hungrier for knowledge.
Oh, I thought you were going to say food. Did too. I was like,
Also for food. Everybody wants to eat, but it's a combination of people get really excited and they hear about the program and they start thinking about the stuff that they want to do. And you know, there's the joke of in my class and all the classes that I will inevitably work with assistant professor YouTube, because there's so many tutorials out there and so many things like that, that the moment people start looking that way, then everybody's loose and everybody wants to do that. And it's really great to see people do that. It's sometimes a bit of a tug of war to make sure that like just learning is happening. But I have noticed that just every semester as we keep growing, there's always more and more people that come in and just like, hey, I know we're supposed to work on this, but what if I did this on the side and did all of this on the side? And, you know, it's like I said, it's great.
That's hopeful too. Like, I love to hear that our students are hungry for knowledge.
Yeah. It's also, I've had this talk with a bunch of classes before where I've had to be like, so here's the deal, guys. I know I'm not your only class, but I also know I'm your funnest class. So I know you're going to spend a whole bunch of time working on these projects. Don't negate the rest of your life.
Right. So here we go.
Okay.
Fasten your seatbelt.
Right.
Rapid fire questionnaire. Are you ready?
No. Okay, I'm ready.
Okay.
You want to think about that?
What if I just left?
I know, right? That is unprecedented, Kathie.
We never run anybody off before.
Start singing. So, Paul, what is your most favorite thing about your job?
Definitely the Design 1 class and any class in design, because that's where I get to see students at their like most creative. I get to show students really interesting and fun things to make and learn. And there are fun little like light bulb moments where you can see people go, ooh, when something happens. And that happens a lot in design class. It happens in 3D modeling too. When you start showing them Maya, and then when they start having to work with Maya more directly, it's a tough program. But like in the beginning, everyone's like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, and it's called Maya?
Maya, yeah. So Maya is what we do our 3D modeling and animation courses on. It's the industry standard program. So if you're interested in a career in 3D modeling or animation, having a knowledge of Maya is really important.
Okay. Is Maya an acronym, or is it just a really nice name? And
I'm going to say it's probably an acronym that I don't know the acronym for.
Okay.
And that's fine. That's fine. That comes in design too.
Yes. So what is your least favorite thing about your job?
Honestly, the fact that we're a new program. I would love to wake up and be like 5 years into the program with my plans for what 5 years looks like, and also like with those needs met and just like grooving and moving. But because I'm one person and because I'm running around, it can be a little bit stressful as I've got to put on so many hats. And like that.
Program startups are really difficult. I don't think people realize that when you're coming in and you're starting something from scratch. It takes a lot of work to build the right foundation anyway.
Right.
Yeah.
At least you don't have any footsteps to follow in.
Yep. So far, it's all new and uncharted territory.
You get to set the bar, Paul.
Yeah. Exactly.
Love the power. The power of that.
Hey, just keeping it real low so it's easy.
So what sound or noise do you love?
I have to say definitely rain. And I used to, when I was living in Georgia last, I was living in Greensboro, Georgia, which is a very small community right off of Lake Ocoee, where you would open the door and just like nature. I like the sound of rain. I like the sound of just like wind and trees and things like that.
True nature sounds.
Yeah. I mean, with the exception of today, you guys have mostly seen me with like a big mountain man beard. So I feel like that tracks.
What sound or noise do you hate?
Anything chalk related.
Oh.
Anything chalk related, literally from like just like hearing people touch it and pick it up sends like bad shivers down my spine.
Or like, did you ever have that teacher, maybe you were old enough to have a teacher with a chalkboard, that would put the chalk between their hands and then roll it, and you would hear it hitting on their rings?
Don't like it.
Yeah.
I'd totally forgotten all about that.
Yeah.
Now you have opened up that repressed memory.
Thank you, Mrs. Reynolds, 5th grade. So chalk. All right.
Actual like
Like
chalk.
the chalk on the board, if it makes that horrible screeching noise, that'll just send you running.
Well, even just like someone who knows what they're doing with chalk, just writing sends like a shiver down my spine. And it's everything chalk related. That,
what do you think this comes from? Did you have teachers that used chalkboards?
I had teachers that used chalkboards, and it would be fun to unearth some sort of repressed chalk related memory on the podcast. I think it would be a huge scoop.
So lay down, Paul.
The psychiatrist is in. Did you have a teacher with the wooden whole clap thing that you stuck all the and then she could draw lines all the way across?
Were you never chosen to go out and beat the erasers? And then you were like, why not me? Why not me? I mean, you kind of felt like you were being let out of prison to go out there and beat those things. Sorry. What one piece of advice do you have for college students?
Definitely the work you do outside of your given interest or class is just as important, if not more important, than the work you're doing inside of class. One of the reasons why we're starting like Simulation Game Development Club is because ultimately when the students are going to come out and looking for jobs, the number one thing that they have in their control is their portfolio. So especially for like art students and, my game design students, being able to leave with a really robust portfolio that shows that you know how to do things is really important. And I would say, especially in, the world in the current job market that we live in, where big layoffs are happening all of the time, to the point that like in a lot of fields, entry-level work is now 3 to 5 years experience. That the only thing that you ultimately can control is like what's in your portfolio and how you can prove that you can do the work. So that's what I would say.
Okay. That's a good answer.
Awesome.
That and relax and chill out. A completely opposite advice.
I know. But it is true.
It's going to be okay.
Yeah. What are 2 college transfer major options for someone interested in simulation and game development?
UNC Wilmington. They have a degree in digital art, which is a combination of just like visual and studio art with some digital stuff. And they have like courses in game design and 3D modeling and animation. And, I'm personally making sure that like everything you're learning in my 3D modeling classes is the same thing that they're learning in their 3D model classes. So if they wanted to transfer beyond just their core stuff that they're doing, they'll have a portfolio that shows I know how to do all these things and I have to take those courses.
That's great.
So definitely that one. Any sort of game design degree program at any other college, High Point comes to mind. One of my first students last in the semester, that's his goal, is just like, I'm going to High Point after this.
Oh, cool.
So like getting those transfers together. So yeah, I would recommend those 2.
I hear articulation agreement.
That's what I was thinking too.
I know. We'll work on that. So what profession other than your own would you like to attempt?
Superhero, a manager of chocolate factory.
Augustus.
It's an interesting question because I've kind of done everything that I've wanted to do.
Oh my God, life fulfilled.
I hate,
right?
And I know I'm going to say that first. I'm going to hear this later and be like, "That's so cringe. Why did you say that?"
You could have been like, "I wanted to be the developer of Fortnite."
Right?
You know what I mean? This is a dream big moment, Paul. Sitting on a pile of cash.
Well, the reason I say this, and I can tie this into the other thing that I always tell my students about, is beyond just having the skills to get the job that you want. I want you to be able to walk out of here with the skills to be like, if you woke up tomorrow and went, "I want to make a game," I don't have to wait for anybody else to tell me to get started. I've got all the skills I need to make the game, because I've always gone through my life when I've got an interest, I want to learn everything about said interest for that very reason. So I don't have to wait for somebody else to come along and get that set up for me. So when it comes to like tackling other jobs and tackling other careers, I never really look at it as like jobs and careers as much as like skill sets that I would need to if I needed to do it myself. That being said, manager of a chocolate factory.
Yeah.
I could work with that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So what profession would you not like to attempt?
Architecture.
Being an architect?
Yeah, I've had family who were in architecture and it was very stressful.
Is there like this power story where they built something and then it fell down?
No.
I mean, I need to know the fear of architecture.
I think for them, it was a combination of just like ultimately not the financial security that they were looking for, and just working for not nice people.
Demanding clientele.
Then I didn't make such a bad career choice after all.
But to get back to your family's fear of architecture and chalk, Paul. No, I'm kidding. This is my favorite. What is your favorite film?
I'm going to answer it this way, because I saw this question and I was pondering all of the things that what institutes, and I was like, maybe I'll go top 5. It was like, I'll go with the one that I watched the most.
Okay.
And I don't usually watch movies over and over again.
But this one
it's
you
kind
do.
of, this is one, and it's yearly, and that's Muppet Christmas Carol.
Oh my gosh, I was not expecting that. Awesome.
Yeah.
The 2 old men in the balcony are phenomenal.
Yes, of course,
Ah.
yeah. I grew up on the Muppets. I love the Muppets.
Yes.
Muppets Christmas Carol is my favorite. I watch it every Christmas. And yeah, I understand because of the everything about me. That was probably not the first thing that came to mind.
Yeah. No, but I love that. That's so,
yeah,
it's
call
just-
me, baby.
it's happy. It's a happy one. Meep, meep, meep.
So finally, what advice would you give your 18-year-old self about your future?
That's first to relax.
Don't
breathe.
do it.
And then just know that you are smart enough to do the things that you want to do. Because especially when you do like art related stuff in a really busy environment like a big city, it gets really easy to get like put in a position where you feel like, well, this is all I know.
Yeah.
This is all I know how to do. And I would just be like, no, you can do other things if you want to.
But it's so smart for you to tell your young self not to be fearful of the things that you think you're not good at. Because I think too many of us do that.
Mhm.
Yes.
I joke about the architect thing. I wanted to be an architect. I'm
Me
not,
too.
but I was afraid. So thank you for that advice, Paul.
I will say that when I saw this question, I laughed because my 18-year-old self just assumed that I was going to be like a vagabond artist my whole life, going up and down the East Coast, because that's what I was doing when I was 18.
Right.
And I was like, okay, I'll just do this forever. I distinctly remember getting here and for the first time talking to someone about budgets and like having those conversations, catching my 18-year-old self in the mirror going, what happened to you? We grew up.
I know. You're an adult now. Oh my gosh, Paul, thank you so
No
much
problem.
for coming
Thank
in
you.
today and
Yes.
telling us all about simulation and game
No problem.
development.
And once
Yeah.
again, this is 99.7 The River.
Ninth caller.
Yeah, for
Gets
the
to-
ninth caller right there.
Yes.
And we'll kick it over to Mike for sports.
I know there are some dates and deadlines always lingering out there for university transfer, and we have resident drama instructor Jack Landry on board to fill you in.
Everyone, I'm really excited for the events from March 1st through March 15th. Monday, March 3rd through March 7th is spring break for students and faculty. Yay! Don't forget your sunscreen. Friday, March 7th is the deadline for dropping class for 100% refund for your second mini session. It's also the last day for in-person registration and schedule adjustment prior to the start of the second mini session. Monday, March 10th, classes begin for the second mini session. Friday, March 14th, the withdrawal period begins for the second mini session. That's a lot of saying mini session. Sorry about that. These are the events from March 1st through March 15th.
T-Tad in the house. What's up?
What's up? Spring break is coming up.
It's crazy. I'm excited for all of the faculty and students. The staff doesn't get a spring break.
We'll be here planning more fun events.
Keeping the fires burning.
Monday, March 3rd through March 7th is spring break. Stay safe, stay hydrated, and wear your sunscreen. Tuesday, March 11th, UNCW visit Explore to Soar. Learn more about what it takes to transfer to UNCW from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. in Union Station's second floor lobby. Her Story on the Big Screen, Hidden Figures. SGA is sponsoring a free movie night in celebration of Women's History Month. Hidden Figures tells the incredible story of 3 women who played a crucial role at NASA. Free popcorn and drinks will be provided at 5:30 p.m. in U-170. Thursday, March 13th, National Deaf History Month begins. To learn more about American Sign Language, contact Joy Schultz, Program Director for Interpreter Education. Monday, March 17th, the Lucky Hunt. Students can test their luck in the campus-wide scavenger hunt. By visiting 8 or more campus resources, they'll discover valuable support services and unlock a secret code to enter a raffle for prizes. The hunt begins at 8 a.m. Encourage students to participate and learn more about the resources available to them. The following are student club meeting times and locations. Mondays, Math Club will meet at 10 a.m. in S603 NB 233. Rugby Club meeting at 12 p.m. in S501. Tuesdays, Political Science Club at 2 p.m. in S315. So Crafty Club, 2:30 to 3:30 p.m. in WA 3018. Feminist Alliance Club meeting at 3:30 p.m. in the L Building cafeteria. SGA General Assembly meeting at 4:15 p.m. in L107. Wednesdays, Anthropology Club at 1 p.m. in A316. Rugby Club at 1 p.m. in A317. NAMI Club at 2 p.m. in A317, Philosophy Club at 2 p.m. in U291. Portals Literary Arts Magazine meeting at 2 p.m. in S310. Los Diablos Morinos Spanish Club meeting at 3 p.m. in S202. Beats Lab Club meeting at 3:30 p.m. in WA2010. Thursdays, Portals CFCC Literary Art Magazine meeting at 2 p.m. in S310. Pride Club meeting at 2 p.m. Contact cfcc.pride@cfcc.edu for more information. Esports Club meeting at 5 p.m. in U252. Fridays, Tabletop Club meeting at 12 p.m. in WA2010.
Man, Taylor, that's a lot.
That was a mouthful.
For
That
actually
is.
having a week of nothing for spring break.
We have a lot of clubs you can get involved in.
We do.
That's right.
These students are lucky.
They are.
So, quick question, dream idea. If you did get to go on spring break, where would you go? Do you know? Do you know? Don't think about it too long. Just say
I
it.
would go to Turks and Caicos.
Oh, yeah. Sweet.
Yeah.
All right.
It
what
just
about you?
looks good on Instagram. I want to be there.
I really, really want to go to the Galapagos Islands.
Oh, it's the Gila monsters there, man.
Where would you go?
I would go to Tortola.
Ooh.
Yeah, British Virgin Islands. Sign me up. All right, sounds good. Let's go.
Let's
go.
Thanks, Taylor.
You're welcome.
Well, that was a lot of fun. That Paul Markert, he's pretty cool.
He is really great, and I feel like he, very much like Nikki Bloomer, they haven't been here that long, but they feel like that they're part of the family
Yes.
already, you know?
Yeah.
And I do feel for him because starting up a program is a lot of work.
Yeah, I can only imagine trying to figure all that out.
And definitely getting our students to even know, you know, that simulation game development is something that you can take here at Cape Fear. And how exciting if you love games. And, you know, you don't have to be a math wizard, but if you can do a
Right.
little bit of coding, you can make anything you want.
Man, I want to sign up and take that class with the virtual scripting.
Oh, yeah.
That sounds awesome. I wonder if I can make that a business-related course.
I don't know. I don't know. So we've got spring break when this podcast drops. Staff will be here. Faculty and students will be
Yeah.
away.
Yes, they'll be all gone, enjoying their spring breaks.
It'll be quiet here, very quiet. But what do we have to look forward to that week?
Oh, we have the basketball tournament.
Yes, the conference
Yes.
tournament is going to be here the 6th through the 8th. So dust off your fan clothes. Come on out to the
That's
Schwartz
it.
Center. We're hosting it. Come support our Sea
Sea
Devil
Devils,
girls. It's going to be fantastic.
Yes, yeah, because we've got the winning team.
We do.
You do not want to miss this.
And then I think this podcast is going to run right up to the edge of St. Patrick's Day. So I will
Ooh.
encourage everyone to go ahead and get their green ready so that you can have a little bit of the luck of the Irish for you on that
Yes.
Monday the 17th, I think is what it might be.
Get your chapstick out. Kiss the Blarney Stone. Something like that.
Yep. So after that, though, we're going to be in the latter half of March, and I just feel like we're going to be steamrolling towards the end of the semester. So make sure that you are buckling down. Don't miss all your classes once it gets warm out.
That's right. It's not much farther to go.
Yeah.
Go what is?
What do we want them to do, Kathie?
Go to class.
Sea Devil Sessions University Transfer Edition is brought to you by CFCC's Community Relations Department. Original theme music by Nicholas Montalbano and Fermin Chavez Ramos. Audio engineering and editing by Mitchell White. For questions or comments, please contact us at seadevilsessions@cfcc.edu.